support my family. And my question is, when will DHS stop separating the family and they deport him for no reason? It just, because September 11 it's happened and he do mistakes and the whole family has to pay for these mistakes. And please, if you could help us, we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I'm very sorry for your family's situation. I have to tell you, this is not something I have any control over, but I will take it back to the people in the Department of Homeland Security and tell them. I will just say one thing, that when you tell me people are deported for no reason, I have to tell you there is an entire system where people get a hearing, they're allowed to have representation. So the idea that it's for no reason, generally speaking, that's not true. I won't say in every case, but generally speaking, that's not true, because there is an entire due process system where people have representatives and have hearings. It's not just one officer who decides to deport you, or someone decides today you're going to be removed tomorrow. Those things just don't happen that quickly. So I suspect it was a whole process. I'm sorry for your family's situation. I understand that these things are difficult, and I will take it back and make that.
I'll just give you a simple reason. In that particular case, it was for lying on a car title form. That's basically, so they asked her, are you a legal resident of New York State? And you say yes, and that was a federal offense, and then you get detained for 3 years in the United States, and her husband gets deported, and he's barred from ever coming back in this country when his family members are documented and can petition for him to come back. So he wasn't a rapist, a mass murderer, and people in our country are getting deported for these minor, or what we believe are minor offenses. So I just wanted to clarify that with the audience.
Yeah, can I just add to that? I think we just really have to tell people, educate people. We have bad laws hurting good people. Before you assume that somebody did something wrong and they deserve what they got, let's just educate our public about bad laws hurting good people. So even if all the systems went well in enforcing our current laws, it's not the agent's fault, right? It's not the judge's fault. It's the laws that are out of whack, that are hurting families and that are un-American. And all of this has to be put together into our vision that we have. Because we are suffering, but we're not going to change the laws by saying we are suffering only. We have to be out there telling people that immigration reform is necessary for better security, is necessary for economic prosperity, and that without immigrants, we are not going anywhere as a country. And I think that is a message that our congressman is bringing, and that is a message that we have to take to the public. And it's got to be a message of empowerment, where we bring other people to realize our vision. And so it's so important that the community leaders who organize events like this, that together that we take these tragic cases and not just end as a story, but use that to organize our communities and to show up so that our voices count.
And may I also just say on the issue of deportation, the more that we can get these cases, what has occurred in these cases, the more that we can craft legislation to counteract them. When I don't know what's going on, it's hard for me. The reason that I got the fast redress bill done was because some Pakistanis from my community came and shared with me what their experience was in the process of traveling. My experience in traveling is a little bit different. And we can't assume that everyone knows what's going on, what's happening to people. So when things just go wrong that seem unreal to you, share that experience, even if it's with an agency, and that agency that reaches out to an elected official. We need to know so that we can counteract it through legislation. The deportation and fragmentation of families is something we are trying to address through comprehensive immigration reform. But we don't know every single incident that triggers a deportation for an individual. You know, we've had circumstances where people are legal permanent residents and they had an infraction when they were a child and they traveled out of the U.S. and on their way back that, you know, marijuana they were smoking as a kid popped up. And now they're deported and cannot come back to the United States. These are things when you know they're grown adult now, have a family, own a business, have turned their life around, and are part of our tax base that we need to be able to advocate for, that we need to make sure there's judicial discretion around. These are the types of things that we're trying to embed in the new legislation so that our immigration system is much more humane, much more family focused, and if there's a way that we can rehabilitate a situation that might have been a minor infraction to keep families together, that's exactly what we want to do. So I feel for you because I know what it is. Throughout my constituency, I'm hearing of